we having a conversation?
Yeah.
Well, you have to start, then you have to ask me questions.
I think I know how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I know how it goes.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming to you with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha. And today I have a return guest, a very special return guest, my daughter,
I've been on here
Jamelah.
before.
Yeah, didn't you do one? Didn't we talk about wrestling? Or were we going to and it never happened?
Mhm.
I feel like we
Maybe
did.
we.
I don't know. Maybe we didn't. I know. Or I had Arya one time. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I've got so many episodes. You got to just go and find them all. But
Yeah, find out for yourself.
yeah, we're on YouTube and wherever you're streaming audio. You know we're there. The What's Up Omaha podcast is there. So subscribe and share, or subscribe and share, like and subscribe. That's what I meant to say.
And share too.
I mean, you can share it if you really enjoy it, but yeah.
You should.
So today I got my daughter on because we're going to talk about
I don't want to say my school and their not very helpful food plan.
what school.
Hastings College in Hastings, Nebraska.
So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. My daughter is going to school for education at Hastings College. Um, I'll say this. She does like the education program at the school. She likes the size of the school, the campus. That's why she chose to go there, elected to go there. And we understood that there was a meal plan in place for her as she was a freshman.
A $6,000 meal plan, may I add?
It's like $6,300, right?
No, it's just 6,000.
I thought it was, is that just for the next year then that's 6,300?
No, it's 6,000. That's it.
Mm, we'll have to check into that.
Pay for it. I know.
Okay.
It's 3,000 for like the smaller one, but it's 6,000.
Okay. She says it's 6,000 even. Okay. But okay. Well, it's $6,000, ladies and gentlemen. So, but my wife didn't go to college. Um, I didn't go to college. My wife went to cosmetology school because she's a massage therapist, or well, she's a cosmetologist, and she also went to massage therapy school because she does massage therapy as well. So we didn't have formal educations, and I mean, we were all going through it together for the first time, and we were like, man, $6,000 for a year of food. I'm like, man, how much do we spend for you here at home? Like that sounds like a lot. And keep in mind, she's funding this all by herself, like she said. That was always the understanding. If you're going to go to school, you're either going to get scholarships or pay for it yourself. We're not going to pay for school for you. Um, and Hastings is a private college. Uh, she did get scholarships.
My
Uh,
academics were all covered. And with FAFSA and stuff, my room and board was basically covered. So the only thing I did have to pay for was the meal plan and my textbooks
and
and
what
my computer. Because last year, actually, when we went in for like all of the meetings and like the campus tours and stuff like that, they told us we get free iPads
didn't happen?
and we get all free textbooks. I go into school or start signing up for my class and stuff, and I'm like, didn't they say we're gonna get free iPads? There was none, so I had to go and buy my own computer and had to buy all my textbooks.
What was the reasoning behind that? I don't remember.
They didn't really give a reason. Nobody really told me that I wasn't gonna get anything. I just kind of found out on my own when I had to buy it, or
Yeah,
when I didn't see an option for it or anything.
yeah. So, red flags for me as a person who doesn't really believe in higher education. And I tried many times to talk her out of going to college because I know that it's not really about education and it's about lining people's pockets, right? So this all falls into to play for me where I'm like, dude, okay, this is annoying. And I will say again, like happy that she got scholarships, but the meal plan and like saying that they're getting this stuff, I don't know how many other students didn't get their textbooks paid for or their iPad like they were supposed to. But how are you going to sell that as one of the pieces of, you know, going to the college and then not not even tell them that they weren't getting it. It
But they're
was
percent transparent
yes.
from the start, apparently.
Yes. So I want to say that we are fortunate and we are happy that she was able to get scholarships, but it just doesn't make sense. Things that don't make sense should be questioned. So again, we were like, all right, $6,000 is a lot of money for a meal plan. Are you sure that that's what you want to do? That's where you want to go? She said, yes, that's where I want to go. And it's required only for
Freshmen, sophomores, no matter where you live
right,
on campus,
right.
you have to. And you have to live on campus for the first 3 years, no matter what. Well, not no matter what. There's exceptions, but for the most part, you're required to stay on campus for the first 3 years, and then you can only get off on your junior or senior year, sorry.
So and please make sure you're speaking into the mic. Let you, bro.
This is fun.
Anyway,
Keep that in there.
so like yeah, man, that's just a problem, right? And I posted this on Facebook and got a ton of responses uh, because this was a problem, and we were like, well, maybe she'll eat $6,000 worth of food. Did you? And how did you come up with that?
There's not even a way for you, like, they don't just give you the amount of money. Like, they don't have a total of the money that you spent and the money that you have left over. I had to go in and scroll all the way down, go through a bunch of pages to find out the beginning of the school year. Then I totaled up every single meal that I ate, what time of day it was to figure out if it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because they all cost different. Added those all up, and then I also added all the times that I went to the cafe altogether, and it came up. Well, at the time that I looked at it, it was like 969 or $979, something like that, and that was like 2 weeks before school ends. So I assume I got about 1,000 ish, but
And and again, we didn't know how it was going to work out for her, so
there's
we were
not.
like 900. We didn't know how it was going to work out for her because she had never been through that before. Um, and when we posted that on Facebook, there were a lot of other families who felt the same way. Granted, there was the few people who were like, "Well, it sounds like she just shouldn't have gone," or whatever they were saying. Yeah, it's part of the college experience. Like, what is
The
that?
issue that we're trying to debate.
Yeah, like that doesn't make
It's
it
fair.
right. Right. And so availability was one issue for the hours of operation for the cafeteria. And then also they were supposed to have what the coffee shop or whatever.
Yeah, there were a couple times, especially at the end of the year, when the coffee shop I would go in, and it's just, well, since it's a small campus, we have the cafeteria and we have our little coffee shop, and the coffee shop has like the drinks and stuff, and then like pre-packaged like little snacks and drinks in the fridge and freezers and stuff like that. So I would go in and they'd tell me that I couldn't get a drink because there was only one person working, so they couldn't make me a drink, which doesn't really make sense. So I would have to get something from the like the bottled drinks or something like that.
And again, this is a required meal plan.
And at the end of the year, they closed it. Like they took like how a lot of kids go in and like what?
Louder, be louder.
A lot of kids, sorry. A lot of kids go in at the end of the school year and you'll see them like get like cartons and like big bags and big boxes of a bunch of snacks and stuff like that. I went in to go and use the last like 40, $50, maybe 30, something around there to use the rest of my money, and they had taken all the snacks away and were, which I guess I understand, but they didn't tell anyone that they were kind of closing it all down, so I just kind of was left with whatever money was stuck in my thing, and I couldn't buy anything else, so that was just extra money that I couldn't use.
But again, it's fully transparent about what the setup is here. The I don't the scheme here. Um, and then, the funny thing to me is, okay, well, any reasonable institution would say, okay, you didn't use all of this budget for this school year, so we're gonna roll it over to your next year. But is that the case?
No,
No,
I don't get any of my money back.
and so you have to pay that again.
Yep. So I paid $6,000. I spent $1,000 of it. So did not spend $5,000. That's $5,000 that I don't know where it went to. And next year I'm supposed to pay that $6,000 again. And that's the issue. Next year I'm going to be living in an apartment on campus where I have my own kitchen. So I can be cooking more, meaning I'm going to go to the cafeteria less, and I'm still going to have to pay for that.
And let me say this. Initially, she wasn't supposed to be in an apartment on campus. Why are you going to be in an apartment on campus?
So it's a new rule change this year.
Oh, they
Yep.
changed the rule? Oh,
Yeah. So nobody, I was not aware of this before last school year started. The campus apartments, they're called Bronco Village apartments. They're supposed to be for juniors and seniors. And because of all, like, apparently there's too many kids that they have, so they're trying to open up apartments for sophomores. The juniors and seniors in the apartments don't have to pay for the $6,000 meal plan. They can choose to have whatever meal plan they want or have no meal plan. I don't have that option, even though I'm still going to be living in the same place as them. And instead of having four people in an apartment, there's four rooms in an apartment. It's supposed to be one person to each room. They're sticking us in that apartment as sophomores, and there's going to be six people in a four-person apartment, three bedrooms. We're going to be stuck in two to a bedroom, and the extra one is going to be with desks.
and so they're already making more money because there's six people in these apartments that were meant for four, and then they have to pay the extra to be in the apartment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
But this is a place where they're supposed to be able to grow and start to make their own decisions. Um, Now, I will say this. I told her from the get-go, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Is this a big enough issue where you're willing to change schools? Because I'm already like, forget it, come home. Like, this is not the place for you. If they like, it's common sense, and I don't care. I know that they make contracts with the food vendors and whatnot, but why should students be on the line for that? And they say that they do this to make it affordable for everyone. Well, clearly it's not affordable because not only is she paying the money, but then she has to go and eat outside of the cafeteria, go to the grocery store. I mean, how many times did you make?
Too, but I would
I
prefer
mean,
to.
right.
Nobody wants to go and eat in that cafeteria 3 times a day, every single day of the week, especially when I'm coming home on weekends and the meal plan accounts for those weekends. So that's already what, three, five, 7 meals that I'm not using every time that I come home for Friday to Sunday.
And that's just the thing. It's not flexible. Like, why should a student be forced to pay for meals for the weekend when they may not even be in town? Like, how does that make sense? Like, why are people okay with this being a thing? I don't understand it. So she doesn't understand it. So she questioned this, and the reason that this came to be was because she's like, I didn't really use my meal plan. Like, maybe I should talk to someone and see if we can work something out since I'll be in an apartment next year. Who did you meet with?
I met with a lovely lady named Patty Kingsley.
And it seemed like everything was going okay when you were emailing back and forth,
Kind of.
kind
So
of.
I ended up emailing just the housing department, just like the generic housing department for our school. And I just was like, because I was looking on the website before, and I just wanted to clarify that as a sophomore, I would still have to pay for that $6,000. So I asked that. And then I got a reply from the housing, and they were just like, yes, even though you're going to be in that housing or in the apartments, you're still going to have to pay that $6,000, blah, 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 blah. And then I asked in my next email if I could have some reasoning behind why I would still have to pay that, especially when I didn't use all of it this first year. And what I got back was basically that it's been the rule for however many years, which doesn't really give me an explanation. So after that, I kind of was just like, okay, well, I'm not getting any answers over email, so I would like to meet with somebody if that's possible. And ended up setting up a meeting with Patty and went in there, and he
Wait,
was
wait,
on the phone.
wait. Before we get to that, let's backtrack a little bit here.
Okay.
Before the meeting, you prepped. What did
Mhm.
you do to prep for the meeting?
the meet. Well, I didn't prep really for that meeting. I just, well, I
No,
guess I did. I did. I
yeah.
asked some. I had some questions written down and then nope. Yeah, I had some questions written down and
But
then
you
nope.
also talked to other,
Nope. That was
that
after.
was after?
Mhm.
Okay. But
That's
you did have a notebook full of things
that's
that you
totaled up the amount that I spent. And when I told her that, she didn't really care. She was just like, oh, okay, well, other people use it, so.
yeah. So you, basically what happened in our meeting, and she was going to say before I cut her off, she was going to say that I was on the phone with her, and I think we were kind of on the same wavelength about it, because after a while we were just kind of going in circles.
That guy's being very respectful and telling, well, in the email, I said, very last email I said, I'd be happy to meet with someone and share my feelings and listen to what you have to say. I went in there thinking I'd be talking to someone receptive and understanding, and she basically blocked out everything that I was saying just to kind of talk over me. And she talked for a majority of the time, and I had to interrupt her to get any words in.
And so she didn't feel heard. And I could tell that she was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated. And the lady says, well, the only thing that you can really do is get a doctor's note to not to not be on the meal plan. And I'm like, I just laughed. I was like,
Yeah.
we're not doing that doesn't make
She
sense.
excuses, and she said something like, oh, because I mentioned how, well, I'm gonna have a kitchen to cook in more. She said, oh, those kitchens aren't meant to cook in.
Yeah, those stoves aren't they work only half the time.
Kitchenette is what she said, but when you go and look on the website, it has everything you need in the kitchen. It has an oven, a toaster, a microwave, a fridge, blah 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 blah, all that stuff like that.
And then she also said, "Well, those fridges, there's not enough room for everybody who lives in the
Yeah,
apartment."
there's for the 6 people that you're shoving into a 4-person apartment.
Bro,
That's not my problem.
this is Hastings, Nebraska. There's a Walmart and a Russ's Market that are each within 10 minutes of the campus.
And an Allen's, but
And in Allen's,
an
I haven't been to Allen's before, I
Allen.
don't think, but there's places that they can go if they need to go a couple of times a week for whatever reason.
Super super stocked. Like
Right. She's not
literally.
buying gallons of milk.
Before this conversation, I was talking with my mom and said, oh, 6 people, I could probably just get like a little mini fridge and put it in my room and have some drinks and little snacks in there if I really wanted to. Before that conversation.
Yeah. And she had a mini fridge in her dorm room this year.
That would be a cheaper solution than buying a meal plan.
So again, to me, like it just seems like they're finding ways. Like you give these kids scholarships, but then you're like, we gotta get some kind of money. So like we know that everybody's not gonna use this full meal plan.
Mhm.
So how much money can we get? So you think about it. If her as one person didn't use about $5,000, and then there was a group of other students, and we may not be completely done. I mean, there's a girl who worked. Where does she work for? Like, or she's not worked for, but the neighbor. You said you actually knew her, who commented and said you guys need to connect.
Um, I don't, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Or whatever it was, but she was very interested because somehow, I posted this on the Omaha Fatty page. She saw it and she was like, "Yeah, I'm from Omaha too." Because I told her that my daughter was already back. She's like, "Oh, I live in Omaha too. Like, have her reach out to me." Blah 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 blah. And I don't think she knew who my daughter was to know that it's somebody that she's probably seen in the dorm, in passing or whatever. I don't know if you guys.
Scooters I drove through.
Yeah, so they kind of knew each other. But there are other students who go there who feel the same way. There's other parents. My wife just had another parent reach out last week or 2 weeks ago asking what happened, what was the result of our meeting, because they don't want to pay. It doesn't make sense to them either to pay all this money and not use it. And that's again the thing. What was your biggest challenge with the hours of operation for the cafe?
Well, I feel like sometimes I'm just not hungry when they have the cafeteria open. I know at home sometimes with our busy schedule here, we don't eat until like 8, 9 o'clock, and our cafeteria closes at well, maybe it did close at 8, 7:45, something like that. But that was just one thing. And I'd often come from work and then either want to go to the gym or go on a walk or something like that. And then it would be closed by the time I get there for dinner, or in between classes, I wouldn't want to go. Well, wouldn't want to. I had time to go, but it was just a matter of like, I don't want to be go, go, go. I just need to chill for a little bit before my next class. And like I said earlier, on the weekends when I'm not even there, like, I what do you expect me to do?
And for me, I'm kind of like those points. Hey, that's on you. You knew you paid this amount of money. You should have been making sure to go to the dang cafeteria. I don't care. Like that, like, but again, there should be options. There should be a flexible option where she can find something that works for her. Uh, and having there be another plan that's only $3,000, but making her take the $6,000 one, it's just crazy. It's asinine. And like their justification for it did not make sense. Now, I know again, they have contracts with these companies, but that shouldn't be on the backs of the students. I think what happens is they're like, oh, they're going to get student loans. So they'll just pile that onto the student loans. Like they won't even notice it. And then they're like 30 years old and still paying on student loans. And that's why it drives me nuts because I know that the education system, the way that it's created is not really, I mean, maybe it started out as being for the students, and in some cases it still is, but I feel like they're taking advantage where they can. And I know that, they have admissions people who get bonuses and stuff when kids sign up for the school. I don't know the breakdown for Hastings and how it works, but I do know that that happens at campuses where the admissions people get bonuses for signing people up. So I'm like, is that where the extra money's going to? Like, what is happening with this surplus of money that they're coming into? And again, we had people commenting on that thread, and some people were like, "Oh yeah, I went to such and such school or university, and they did allow you to roll those unused funds over to the next year." And I'm like, "That makes sense. That why would they not do that? Like that just they can do it. They got their hands in the pockets of these parents of these students and these students and a student who's working for it, and it's just." Their inability to be able to move uh, based on student feedback or family feedback is crazy to me. And that's what I was about to say.
The exact wording, but my mom found it right. It was she found it on the website and it said our meal plan is like funded, not funded, but based on student feedback and blah 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 blah. Clearly not because I went to my first meeting and I went to my second meeting. The both of them told me that I'm not the only one who came to them with this problem.
But they're
So
just like, eh.
clearly there's some sort of, I don't know.
The people don't like it, and that's a fault of the school um, going into handshake deals or what under the table deals, whatever they have going on to create these contracts,
College, they can do whatever they want,
but not
basically.
until they sign a contract. I mean,
I was told by Patty when I was asking, I said, well, if you're saying that it's for everybody so that we can all put our funds together to fund it. And she said they took like did a lot of research and took tallies of how many people were eating and blah blah blah. If I'm not eating that much food and I know however many people that are not eating that much food, then clearly something's messed up in your research or you're just lying because that doesn't make it's not adding up.
or it's old. The data
Yeah.
is old. It's outdated. It's outdated.
It's kind of off, but she told me basically if I don't like the meal plan, then I can either just deal with it or I can find somewhere else to go.
Like they don't even care. Like
She
at that
didn't
point,
care. She didn't.
yeah,
She
it's not even about the education. Like you're willing to sacrifice a student on your campus because of the meal plan. How does that make sense? Like you're supposed to be a place of higher education. Focus on the education. Let her worry about the food. Let these other students worry about the food. And she polled a group of students, and the most that she found was spent by any of these students was
was half.
$3,200 or something like that.
After the first meeting with Patty, I decided that I was gonna. She said that if you don't like my answers, you can go talk to my boss. So what did I
Okay.
do? I talked to her boss. I set up a meeting. And before that, like you said, I made a poll. I sent it out on social media and to some of my friends that I knew I'm going to be rooming with next year. And I think I had about 15. I know 15 doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the school size and how many people are actually going to, because not that many people are sophomores are going to be in the um, apartments next year. So considering those numbers, 15 is probably a decent percentage. I don't know the exact number of people that are going to be in the apartments as sophomores, but it's probably not anywhere close to a lot. So, and yeah, what were you going to
I
say?
was gonna say, and again, initially she would have been in a regular dorm, but now she's going to be in an apartment with a kitchenette area.
That's not used for cooking.
It just makes no sense. And they were able to change the rule or the policy to allow these six people to board in this four-person apartment. I just feel like they're really trying to just, it's a money grab. And why people would come to bat for the school, for the campus, I don't know. Just because it's been that way, and I'm like, bro, if you don't want to question stuff that you don't feel is right, then that's on you, but we're going to question it. And she did her research, tried to make an informed decision, tried to be respectful when she was talking to the people. And like, it just boils down to they just need the money. They want the money. And why would they not work on a solution going forward? Even if they were locked in, why wouldn't they have a better line of communication to allow for them to see a bigger picture or a plan for the future? Like if they really cared, like if they wanted students to be there, and not to mention even all the other stuff, like some of the one family that we know, they had a son that went there and they just did away with the program that he was supposed to be going.
And didn't tell them.
Didn't tell him. Just did away with the program. Was it science? Something with science or
Something like digital media or something, because he does a lot of the recording and stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but
so like they're not transparent. They're standing on that block, that platform, that soapbox of transparency, but they're not following through with that. And you have to be able to adjust. And if you can't adjust, then there is a fundamental issue with your process, procedures, whatever it is. Like that just makes no sense. And I know that they probably think, oh, people aren't gonna like they'll probably say something, but they're not gonna dig deeper. So here's my thing. You know, when I used to work at Ameritrade, we had a work outing and we went bowling and I tore my bicep. Now, we weren't physically at work, but I was getting paid for this time. I tore my bicep. I had to go and have surgery and whatnot. I was young when this happened. This was 2012. I didn't know much about anything about workman's comp and whatnot, but I said, hey, since I don't know anything, let me check in on this. Uh, the company rejected my claim initially, but then I was like, again, let me just make sure my bases are covered. So I reached out to an attorney. Uh, Long story short, we went all the way up to the day of or the day before the hearing, and the company finally settled and paid me $5,000 in addition to paying for all my medical bills. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is crazy. Why? So I asked the lawyer, I'm like, hey, why would they do that? Why would they push it all the way to the final moment and then be like settle out and pay me additional money when all I wanted was the medical bills to be paid for? It was an accident. I didn't blame anyone. Like I no there was no one's fault. It was just an accident. And he said the reason that they reject or deny claims is because there's not enough people who actually do further research or look into things more once they're rejected initially. So places are banking on you being uneducated and not knowing enough about the process, and they think you'll just accept a no. Well, that's not necessarily how I'm built. And I commend her. I know she's not a confrontational person. I was super proud of her for standing up for herself and her classmates. I think she handled it very well. Um, I would really like for her just not to go to Hastings College anymore. That would have been my ideal situation. Come home, go to UNO. Even though she didn't really want to go to UNO,
I
but
said no.
but she could have done that, and then we could have, not dealt with that. So,
Paid me.
but at least you wouldn't have been getting screwed. I mean, it's a principle thing. That's what it is. Like it's a like if they're gonna do that, what else are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? So like I have a problem with that. And again, this is her thing. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I will do whatever it is that you want me to do.
Did for that give us $5,000 extra?
Give us our 5,000 plus another 5,000 on top of that.
5,000 for next year.
Yes. We actually have like 15 more people that we're now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Hastings College, what's up? We need to get legal in this. What do we need to do? Because I really to me, it just feels like in those movies and TV shows where the mob people, they do shakedowns and they go business to business and like mom and pop shops.
He's sick all camera.
Hey, the boss. If you don't pay, we're gonna hurt you. We're gonna break your legs. You'll be sleeping with the fishes. Like, I don't know. That's just what it seems like. It's like they're like going, how much can we get away with? How much can we shake these students down for? Education.
We haven't talked about this yet.
Oh,
They have another excuse kind of reasoning. They're building a new residence hall. It's called the 1882. And that's one of the reasons that they're saying that it's going to be oh so great next year and everyone can live in the residence, not everyone, but you can go live in that new residence hall and it's going to be new and improved and probably cost more money. And I asked about it too, and you still have to pay if you live in the 1882, you still have to pay the $6,000.
yeah, it's crazy.
And they're talking about, well, when I was saying how I don't like make it to the coffee shop enough because the hours and stuff aren't enough and they don't have enough options. They said that with the 1882, they're also expanding the coffee shop and gonna make it so much better and blah blah blah. And
You gonna have people working?
right, to go like grab and go snacks and stuff like that, but you're still having to pay for it. And I asked the hours and it's gonna be not that much longer than it was this year.
Yeah, so they just
So it's just excuses, excuses, excuses on like why we're still having to do this.
and the thing that Patty said, Krabby Patty, she was like, policy, 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 policy. It's policy.
Policy, it's been like
Unless you get a doctor's note for your diet, your nutrition needs policy.
thing too. They do have some like allergen free like foods in there. I know they have a fridge that's like has some gluten free and maybe a little bit dairy free, but that's like a little teeny tiny mini fridge on a counter, and they don't really have. I mean, they have the nutrition facts on the website, I think, if you go and look, but there's not a ton of options for people like that. And to instead of being more inclusive and adding things for them, you're telling them that they have to go get a doctor's note so that they have to do it themselves. Like,
It seems really like socialism. Like that's what's crazy to me. Like, wait, you want it to be more affordable for everyone, so you're making people who don't need it pay. But I feel like the people who are making those decisions, if that was happening to them in any other uh, aspect of life, they would be like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay for someone else to have insurance. I don't want, no.
but it's just like that in other colleges. So
Yeah,
anywhere you go,
everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's taking the students' money.
they're taking advantage of us. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Student loans. It's okay. You're going to be paying student loans anyway. Well, actually, no. No, we're not, because we're not, no, we're not doing student loans. No, no, we're not. No, we're not, Krabby Patty.
Yeah, Krabby Patty.
And then so
I,
oh, Krabby Patty.
but they won't because all of Hastings ignores everything that we tag them in because they don't want to deal with us.
Well, that's all right. We'll keep. Well, hey, it's not. I'm in it as long as you want to be in it. I really think you need to reach out to that other young lady. This podcast will be out, before the end of the month, and it's like the 28th. So, Yep. So it will be out. So people will see this. I'm going to share this in that thread because there were some people in that thread that wanted to see the podcast, and we're just going to blast it out. Hopefully, we can get her to share it all over. Um, yeah, again, I just really couldn't believe that they would really just say, "Hey, no, just go leave," instead of us trying to figure out something with this meal plan. Just go and find another place for you to get your education.
Say the president of the college who I had my second meeting with was a lot better than Patty, and I don't want it to seem like he was terrible like Patty was. He was very nice and understanding, and he did explain a little bit better than Patty, but still kind of dis
Dismissive.
disregarded what I said because he's the one I brought the poll to and the results to, and he's just like, yeah, well,
I got
can't
it.
really do anything about it now.
Wonder how much he gets paid.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's better. Don't want that to fall on all on him.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the issue that we had because I ended up just speaking up and I said I think we need to end this meeting because we're just going in circles and we're not getting anywhere. I'm getting frustrated and I'm just on the phone, so I can't really even do anything. Not like I would have done anything in the office, like uh
The who?
choke the stuff out of Patty. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that, Patty. Even though you're crabby, I wouldn't have done that. Because that's not me. That's not me, right? That's not me. But as a parent, when you start to get a little defensive of your child, and uh, yeah, yeah,
Knocked her out if I
nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not violent.
it took enough courage to go in there and do it. Just talk to her. I could not have. I would have been expelled.
Yeah, but
I mean, maybe that would have been a good thing.
yeah, maybe, but that's how bad my opinions are of higher education. I just would prefer her to not go to school and just find her way somewhere else.
Be a teacher.
I know, I understand. To each their own. So if that's what she wanted to do, we'll support her. But I definitely got to be the voice of reason over here. Like, hey, they want you to pay $48,000 a year to go to this school, and you're going to be in education, and it doesn't make sense to go $200,000 in debt to be a teacher because you're not gonna be able to. Yeah. But like I said. She's independent. Independent. Do you know what that means? Anyway,
Independent. That's why he loves me.
anyway, but yeah, so that's what it is. Is there anything else that you want to touch on before we go or like
No,
no?
that there's so many. Well, I said no, and then I started talking, but there's so many people who are having the same issue as me, not only in the same college, but around the whole state and wherever and the whole country. Actually, we had people in that comment section from like Florida and stuff like that. So clearly, this is an issue and
Yeah, and
needs to something needs to change.
yeah, and
Just because it's sorry, go ahead.
no, no, you're already talking.
Say just because it's been that way for forever doesn't mean that it's a good thing. We already know about like slavery and stuff with like
They trying to take us back.
women not being able to vote and stuff like that. That was the rule for however long, and that wasn't right. So we changed it, and this isn't right. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yep, and what we said was even if it doesn't change for her and her current, classmates, maybe it'll spark some change for the future. And like, I mean, again, I feel like she went about it the right way. And I have no doubt that next year the fight will continue and we'll keep shouting the message out. And I do also want to address again though, like as far as the education program at Hastings goes. So far, she really enjoyed the program.
To add on to that, loving the program is good, and I love the classes that I've taken so far regarding education, but also my advisor, Grant Bachman, is super cool. And I had emailed him something related to the topic. And he not only gave me the answer to what I was looking for, but also told me that if I needed it, especially since he knows that a lot of kids don't have their parents around them here, he offered to come to my meeting and be with me and be an advocate for me. And recently, he actually emailed me again to follow up on the whole thing and see how that whole thing went and what came out of it and stuff like that. So there are good people and there all are good positives to the school, but this is just one of the big negatives.
Yep.
Positives and negatives, but yeah.
That's what it is, man. So, you sure? Last chance, last chance. Get it in.
Good.
So, yeah,
Hastings, step it up.
yep. And just so you know,
Be better.
Krabby Patty, Hastings ain't that big. And hey, we got family out in those parts, Krabby Patty. We like, yo, hey, Patty, we might see you in the street, Patty. I'm just saying. No, I'm just joking. Patty, Patty, for for as serious as I am about the meal plan, that was all jokes. Like, I mean, we do have family in Hastings, and we out there. My wife is out there right now with my other daughter. But
At a wrestling camp at
yeah.
Hastings.
Yep. So like there are some good things going on out there at Hastings, but you got to call stuff out when you don't approve or you think something's wrong. You got to speak out. How else can we create change and why would we not?
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Right. And why would we not push our future leaders to feel confident enough to go into those rooms and those spaces and speak their piece? I feel like, especially now with the way the world is, we gonna need some people to step up because, bruh. Anyway, we ain't getting into all that, but
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah, man. Once again, thank you guys for tuning into the What's Up Omaha podcast. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Let us know. I know we had a lot of people. I got to say this too before we go. When I made that post on Facebook, we had some people talking bad about like
Ha!
Hastings in general. And I'm like, bro, we don't have anything against Hastings. It's just the college we have this.
It's kind of boring.
I mean, no, but like they were, it was people who used to live there or whatever. They were like, there goes my hometown again, like making us look bad or whatever they were saying. I'm just like, hey, we like Hastings, like we Kool-Aid days, all that. Hey, it's cool, but we don't have anything against Hastings. It's just an issue that we have with this policy, Krabby Patty. But but Hastings, we're cool with you guys. Like we like the city, like we
Hastings City.
Hastings, the city. I mean, we're cool with the college for the most part, except for them trying to steal money out of teenagers and young adults' pockets. But I guess you got to get that money anyway. You know how? I mean, whether legal, non-legal, whatever, illegal, whatever. You just got to get that money. Patty's like, I got to get my paycheck. I got to make sure that you guys. This is above me. I'm gonna meet with you, but I'm not. I don't have any power in the situation. I'm just crabby, Patty. Anyway, I gotta stop messing around because I could be goofy and go all day. Uh, Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the What's Up Omaha podcast. And again, please like and subscribe, share, do all that jazz if you like the podcast. And if you know somebody, reach out to me, somebody in the media or whatever, so we can get this message out, so we can start to invoke some change around this topic because it's not right. It's not right taking money from people. If somebody broke into a place and took money, right? If somebody broke into your house and stole money, you be mad. But nah, you go to school, you let these people take your money, and you okay with it. Why? Why? I don't even know what we're doing right now. It's just because whenever I'm around her, I'm goofy, and now that the serious stuff is over, I'm just acting real silly. But you guys, we gonna do this together. You guys have a wonderful day. I want you to smile, help someone else smile, laugh, and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Yeah! Hastings College, get your act right. Peace out, y'all.
Krabby Patty. She's like Squidward.
Yeah.
She's like Squidward eating the Krabby Patty.
SpongeBob and never make it to the bubble bowl.